Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer warned that President Donald Trump's escalating actions toward Venezuela are pushing the U.S. closer and closer to another costly foreign war without congressional authorization. He argued that Trump has overstepped constitutional limits, emphasizing that only Congress can declare war, and urged bipartisan resistance to reclaim that authority. Schumer's comments followed Trump's Truth Social post declaring Venezuelan airspace closed in its entirety after an FAA warning about worsening security. Speaking to U.S. service members on Thanksgiving, Trump vowed to soon stop Venezuelan drug traffickers by land, claiming they kill hundreds of thousands of Americans annually. Trump has not ruled out deploying U.S. troops. His advisor Pete Hegseth defended recent lethal kinetic strikes on suspected narco boats, criticizing fake news reports about a second strike that targeted survivors. Meanwhile, House Armed Services Chair Mike Rogers and Ranking Member Adam Smith said they are conducting bipartisan oversight of U.S. military operations in the Caribbean and seeking a full accounting of the reported follow-on strike.
President Trump, meantime, also announcing he intends to pardon former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez. An investigation into Hernandez actually began during President Trump's first term in office, and back then Hernandez was actually sentenced to 45 years in prison during the Biden administration for allegedly conspiring with drug traffickers to move cocaine into the U.S. Some estimates up to 400 tons of it. The president says now he is hoping to move beyond that. Meantime, he's also doubling down on his threats on Venezuela, with the possibility of taking action on drug traffickers on land in that country, and perhaps very soon. In fact, this morning on Truth Social, he warned pilots and traffickers that they should consider the airspace above Venezuela to be closed. I want to bring in Fox contributor and former CIA station chief, the great Dan Hoffman. Dan, I have to say, I'm not surprised the president is attacking it from this perspective, but should we take from what he's done thus far, not just by positioning assets in the region and shutting off airspace, for lack of a better description, does that mean a land offensive is imminent?
It could be. The president also reportedly had a conversation with Maduro in the past few days, and so I think the president might be pursuing a number of options. But look, we've got one of our most advanced aircraft carriers, the USS Gerald Ford, in the region, and lots of military capacity there. If we attack Venezuela on land, that's an act of war, and so I think the president would do well to address the nation. I think that Secretary Hegseth and Secretary Rubio should be engaging with the Congress with oversight, so that the Congress is fully informed of the president's plans and intentions, so that if we do take action, we're in a one team, one fight kind of scenario.
Well, the president said this. Want to play a little sound? He basically laid it out point blank. He's warning drug traffickers, we're coming after you. Listen to this.
We're going to take care of that situation. We're already doing a lot. We've almost stopped. It's about 85% stopped by sea. You probably noticed that. People aren't wanting to be delivering by sea. And we'll be starting to stop them by land also. The land is easier, but that's going to start very soon. We warn them, stop sending poison to our country.
It's one thing to interdict over international waters. It's a whole other can of worms to actually attack a country, especially by way of land and perhaps even by air. You've seen circumstances like this play out before. There's a wide latitude, Chief, as I understand it, when it comes to terrorism. Isn't that right?
There is. This is a little bit different because you're talking about drug traffickers, and that's a bit different than terrorism. But you're right, we have launched attacks against other nations who had harbored terrorists, who had given terrorists sanctuary. But I find that to be a little bit different than the current situation. I think the president would do well to present the evidence that we have to the American people. We're a bit wary, I think, U.S. citizens, of engaging in foreign conflicts. We saw what happened in Iraq and Afghanistan, where we didn't have a real clear handle on what our strategic objectives were going in and what were the objectives for us to get out. And so I think that the president would do well to outline that and to have his key cabinet officials provide additional background, perhaps even behind closed doors, but also for full transparency overtly to the American people.
Real quick, I want to get your thoughts on this sound. This is Riley Moore, congressman from the great state of West Virginia, again, discussing the notion that we understand what happened in the catastrophic departure from Afghanistan. A lot of people came here. We didn't really have full vetting. We don't have the systems in that country, quite frankly, to really know who they all are. I want to get this sound and get your reaction about, again, the withdrawal and the risk to America. Listen.
He should have never been in this country to begin with. We had over 80,000 Afghan nationals piled into the United States. We don't know these people. We don't know who they are. This is the first time that I can recall the United States government brought a terrorist into our country.
It is a really strong take, and I think a lot of people feel exactly like he does. Your thoughts, 30 seconds.
Look, I think administrations have to deal with the consequences of their predecessors. We've got a war in Ukraine that began under President Biden's administration. We had the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan for all that entails. Terrorists like Al-Qaeda and ISIS enjoying open field running like they did before 9/11, and the Afghans who came to the United States. To the extent to which they were not vetted or not vetted properly, I'm sorry to say that's now the Trump administration's challenge. They're going to have to figure out a way to do it with Department of Homeland Security and FBI, and then any connections to overseas terrorists, that's over to the intelligence community, CIA primarily.
Yeah, got to get after it. And I think you were really sharp when you said, quite frankly, sometimes vetting is that day's vetting. It doesn't necessarily mean anything moving down the line. You have to stay in contact with these individuals, especially those who are coming back home from the battlefield. Dan Hoffman, thank you as always. I appreciate your time today. Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer warned that President Donald Trump's escalating actions toward Venezuela are pushing the U.S. closer and closer to another costly foreign war without congressional authorization. He argued that Trump has overstepped constitutional limits, emphasizing that only Congress can declare war, and urged bipartisan resistance to reclaim that authority. Schumer's comments followed Trump's Truth Social post declaring Venezuelan airspace closed in its entirety after